One of the things that's really fascinating about Grenada's carnival is the emphasis on traditional mass. Now, the way I see it personally is that carnival always has two sides. It's kind of bipolar that way. On one hand, you have the traditional side. On the other hand, you have the more commercial side of things. And we do need both. Now, the commercial side is what will almost always draw the most attention from people who haven't ever come across carnival before. And the reason for this is it's the easiest aspect of carnival culture that you can market that people can easily relate to, because it's not connected to anything that requires any form of education, knowledge, or history. It emphasizes the celebration, but not the reason for the celebration. Now, a problem with this is that without those deeper meanings and those deeper connections, in the eyes of people who are coming across the carnival, for the very first time, there's nothing really out there to anchor the festival to the culture that it comes from and that it's tied to. And also, there's nothing really to separate one carnival from any other carnival that's out there. For people who don't know much about carnival, the feathers, the music, the good vibes, the alcohol, and the friendly and inclusive atmosphere, along with the wild behavior, are always more than enough to act as an incentive for them to try to, get interested and get involved. Who doesn't want an environment and an atmosphere where they can really, cut loose and enjoy themselves with people who are willing to share an important part of their culture in a way that doesn't separate them from, the locals that are on the island or the country. However, if you're from the Caribbean or South America or anywhere else that has a strong carnival culture and their carnival is tied to their traditions and their nation, then you know that each and every carnival has something different that you cannot find anywhere else. Now, many of the islands market their festivals utilizing a lot of the methods that will attract the widest possible audience. Based upon some of the most obvious things that they have to offer. And this will work for a while. The problem occurs when you want to separate yourself from other places that have a lot of similar things that contribute to their carnival or their festival. Now, going back to Grenada, the reason why Grenada is such a fantastic example of the way it's possible that you can attract tourists is because their carnival is authentic and it has not been compromised or watered down at all. As a result, they've actually increased the number of visitors that they get in August every single year during their carnival period. They've retained the meaning of their carnival. And this has some extra benefits too. Their carnival, which is supposed to be a festival, for the locals that visitors can participate in, now means that visitors can really connect with and make friends with people who, live on the island, and they can connect with them as guests rather than, VIPs that are stuck on some resort somewhere, separated from the local culture of Grenada. They're not separated from the locals by costume prices or any other barriers that may prevent them from really experiencing what makes the island unique. It also means that getting involved in the festival is a lot easier in Grenada. For example, for Juve morning, you just need to be in the right place at the right time in order to participate in all the fun. And the funny thing is, a lot of the people who experience their carnival for the first time end up returning to Grenada and end up paying money to participate in the carnival after having their very first taste of it for the very first time, usually by accident.
Hi, this is Garvey Campbell. We're at Juve Morning 2018 and I am with
Marie from Rochdale.
Nice. We've been watching you. It looks like you're having fun. Do you come to Juve often?
I have been to Juve in London 4 or 5 times, but it's even better in Grenada.
Wow.
You go to Grenada, you're going to meet the real jub-jubs.
Wow.
And I'm looking for the jub-jubs now. Can you direct me to the jub-jubs?
I think I saw them ahead of us.
Oh.
But how many times have you been to Grenada?
Oh, I've lost count, but I'm looking for the oil and the water.
Fantastic.
For the jub-jubs.
That is big because we love hearing people getting involved, taking part. Our thing is carnival is not a spectator sport. And it sounds like you really got involved.
Yeah, get involved.
One last question. For those people who've not done Juve before, don't know about it, if you could give them, give them any message, what would that message be?
I would say, keep it secret. The least people on the streets, the better.
Wow.
Because we have fun.
A lot of the stories that we hear from tourists are that they ended up traveling to Grenada in August to relax and chill. They found out about the carnival when they got there, and after leaving the resort that they were staying at, they ended up having so much fun that they returned the very next year to experience a little bit of the fun that they had joining in the celebration during their first year. Many of them leave Grenada with a better understanding of the culture, and many of them tell their friends about how great the experience was. Now, other carnivals have the potential to turn their own carnivals into tourist attractions too, in a way that increases visitors without, compromising or watering down the cultural aspects of their carnival. There are other carnivals that are already doing this, but the reason I'm using Grenada as an example is because their carnival has one of the strongest visible connections to their culture and history, and they've got a lot of belief and pride in what they have to offer tourists and visitors. Now, this is the direction that I personally think all carnivals should really be heading towards. Carnivals are more than just an excuse to party and have fun. The celebration has got real meaning, and there are some really important messages behind the festival. But if that meaning is sacrificed and not transmitted in order to market the festival to a wider audience, then your carnival may very well do well in the short term, but eventually it's going to lose its meaning and its story in the long term, and this will eventually destroy what makes it unique. So that's my 2 pence worth on the subject, but tell me, what do you think? Have I got it wrong? Does carnival need to abandon its traditions and change to survive? Or does it need to evolve in a way that ensures it retains its roots and its meaning? Let me know what you think. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and definitely on YouTube. This is Garvey Campbell, and you have been watching Carnivale Network. We'll see you next time.
Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Carnivale Network, on Twitter at CarnivalNet, and check out our website, carnivalnetwork.co.uk.